get straight to it.
Wait. Before we start, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been tuning in and listening in. This is episode 30.
Bow.
This is episode 30.
Bow.
A quick milestone.
Dirty
Just
30.
yesterday night, we passed 500 streams on all platforms
Ooh.
as well. So yeah, just thank you to everyone that's been supporting, that's been locking in. We still got so much more to do and so much further to go. But yeah, massive thank you.
Real
And
talk.
yeah, back to the episode.
Back into it. Right. So there aren't many things that cause me to just ponder in the middle of the night, you know. But one of the things that came into my mind one day was just that quote from Paul George. And I know we pick on the Clippers a lot, especially in the last few episodes. But this was something, it's not even so much about picking on them. It's just thinking about what he said and taking it for its merit and then just like thinking deeper. So he obviously at the end of, after losing to the Nuggets, said that this year wasn't championship or bust for them. And obviously at first we all heard that and we were like, that's dumb. And it was a few days ago on the Old Man 3, JJ Redick's podcast, he was talking to Melo. And they were talking about that Denver Nuggets team. And talking about how people always talk about, you know, Olympic Melo, Knicks Melo, Hoodie Melo, they forget Denver Melo. Right? Like you talk to other people and it sounds as if, you know, Melo was drafted by the Knicks.
Yeah.
People forget how good that Denver team was.
They forget Cornrows Melo was a bad guy.
Bro, Melo was a nasty guy, bro.
He was a bad guy.
He was a nasty guy.
People forget he was going toe to toe with LeBron like it was nothing.
And Kobe.
All these greats, man. He was going toe to toe. He was.
Kobe said he was the toughest person to guard.
Because he had it in his locker, man. He had everything in his locker.
Exactly.
He had the mid range. He could shoot. He could slash. He could do everything.
He was physical as well.
He was LeBron, tiny bit more physical, less IQ. I'd say
Less athletic.
Yeah.
But definitely like better shooter as well.
Yeah.
So it was, in terms of scoring, they were toe to toe, in my opinion.
I'd say even Melo probably had a
Melo had it, especially like later in games. Melo had an easier like way of scoring because you couldn't just clog the paint. Like you definitely have to double team and trap him. And with the way that team was set up, especially they had AI on that team. And this wasn't like Pistons AI. This was still 26, 27 a game AI. And then they traded for Chauncey. In 09 they go Western Conference Finals. And they played the Lakers. And you know, JJ was talking to like Melo, and he was like, JJ was like, I was thinking we were gonna play you guys when it came to 2010 at least. I thought we were gonna play 2009. I thought we were gonna play you guys 2009. And then Melo was like, me too. But obviously Kobe and his greatness put a stop to that because JJ was on the Orlando team at the time. And then the next year they tried to run it back and they couldn't do it again, and then basically that was it. And they were kind of just thinking of the fact that that was their window. Championship wise, that was their window. 2 years. 09 and then 10. 2 years. And it got me thinking, again, going back to that championship or bust comment, bro, we think about someone like LeBron, right? We're so used to LeBron being in the finals every year, being a championship contender every year. You know, we had the Warriors in the final 5 years in a row. Warriors, Cavs 4 years in a row. And you forget that for most teams that aren't dynasties, right? For teams that aren't Showtime Lakers or 80s Celtics or 90s Bulls or 2000s Lakers, that championship window is shorter than Like, even just thinking now, or like Shaq's Orlando team, won finals, got swept. 2 years later, Shaq was gone. That's it. Think about how short the Rockets have been to what? 2 NBA finals? They won both. Capitalized when Jordan wasn't there. After that, how many finals did they get to? None. Imagine if they didn't capitalize. That was the window gone. That championship window gone. Even more recently, the Rockets, right? 2018. Talk about their championship window. Yeah, they've been in the mix since Harden has been there. But realistically, 2018 Western Conference Finals, they go 7 games with the Warriors. Full strength, full health. KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond, Warriors, yeah? And they come up short. The next year, they lose in 6 without KD being there for the last 2 closeout games. And you're just like, And now they're getting bounced out in the second round in 5 games, barely putting up a fight. Head coach is gone. There's questions over who remains. Russ and Harden can't play together. Bruv, championship windows are so small for so many teams. So many teams.
Yes, it's crazy because especially because of one, the fact that it was a player like PG that said such a statement, and two, it speaks to his mentality as a player. Because just yesterday I was watching the Nicholas Anelka documentary on Netflix. I haven't finished all the way through, but it's actually pretty decent. It could have done better, but it's decent. And at the beginning, Nicholas Anelka was speaking about his mentality towards playing, and he was thinking, or he was saying that when it came to him being a young 17-year-old fresh-faced guy out of the Clairefontaine Academy, coming to PSG while he was facing all of these big boys, he was facing some of the biggest names from world football back in the day. Not facing it, but he was up against them in competition to get a squad spot. And his mentality was a straight killer. His mentality was, you cannot show weakness. You cannot show that you're coming under pressure. You have to, even though you might be the youngest person there, even though there might be people that are better than you, you always have the mentality is that I'm going to be the one that's going to win. I'm going to be the one that's going to get a place in the team. I'm going to be able to score goals. I'm going to be able to do this, that, and the other. Now, a player like Paul George, who has widely been touted as one of the best players in the league, a fantastic 3-and-D player, 2K athlete, on the cover. He's done all of these things.
He's done it twice.
Yeah, he's done it twice. Team USA, multiple accolades, NBA All-Star, this, that, and the other. Had unfortunate situations where he just wasn't surrounded by the best players when he was back at the Pacers, and then at OKC.
That just didn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But he's a player that is widely renowned as a great player that has championship potential, provided he's in the right situation. But now he's come to a point and he said, it's not championship or bust. Now, if you're a player that is truly chasing greatness, that is truly chasing to be the best player, to play on the best team, surely every year is championship or bust. Surely every year is an opportunity for you to hit that the top of the mountain, or traverse the rest of the competition or whatever. Because really and truly, if you just look at a basketball player's career, it's short, bruv. That is short. We look at most of the players in the league, and most of them are gone within 10 years. Let's be real. Most of them are gone. Body shot. Most of the players don't even remember their names. There's only a select few that you remember them. NBA All-Stars. And that's only multiple.
And how many of them actually win rings?
Exactly. So it's really a thing where you have to question the mental toughness. It's just not there with PG.
It's not.
You can't possibly be a person that is chasing an NBA championship and say, yeah, it wasn't meant for us.
Especially in year 9, 10?
Maybe.
In it, like I think we got drafted 2011. So you're in year 9, 10 of being in the league. You haven't won a chip before. You haven't been to the finals before. And you're talking, this isn't championship or bust.
Bro, every year for the rest of your career is championship or bust.
Wow. Like, it's a thing where Luka can say it's not championship or bust. He didn't though.
Yeah, he didn't.
Like, the Nuggets can say it's not championship or bust. They didn't though. The Heat can say it's not championship or bust. They won't though.
The Celtics
could say, like, these are teams that have young superstars, young cores. You know, they have cap flexibility because they haven't got loads of players signed to big contracts that are expiring soon. They can say it's not championship or bust. Gee, you can't, because even if in your head you think, right, I'm going to be here. What if Kawhi decides, you know what, you lot aren't serious. I'm going back to Toronto next year. Because
Toronto got the cap space.
They will have the cap space. They're not going to be foolish this offseason and sign everyone to big contracts. They will be aware that Giannis is available after next summer. Kawhi is available after next summer. Plenty of players will be available that they can pick up. They're not gonna handcuff themselves to big contracts now. There's so many teams. Kawhi could be like, Miami's not LA, but it's pretty damn close. And he could go there. Like, Nobody knows what's going on in that man's mind.
Honestly.
Or CPU.
I hope he has a therapist. I hope he does. Or a programmer. Whatever he
whichever one. Either or. But like, say it's not championship or bust. Look at LeBron. Yeah? The way he's talking after each game. The way Jimmy's talking after each game. LeBron has won 3 championships already. Like, we'll talk about the GOAT conversation more and that debate, but LeBron's legacy as one of the greatest players of all time. If he's not in your top 5, it's likely cocaine in your veins. But literally, he cemented his legacy as one of the greats. Certainly the best player to ever play in this position. Certainly the best player to ever play for at least 2 NBA franchises, right? He's still going out there, year 17. Like, this is his first and only chance to win a chip. Because LeBron understands how many, like, LeBron has been to that mountaintop more than anyone in the league currently. He's been to more finals than, I think, 28 franchises. He knows that going there once does not guarantee you will go there again. And of all the people to even have the mentality that I'm going to be here again next year, it would be LeBron. But he still knows that just because I'm here doesn't mean I win. Like, CP3 went to the Clippers, 2011. They weren't immediately title contenders. But the following year, 12, 13, 14, that was their window. That was their window to at least make it to a finals. Maybe 12, 13, they wouldn't have beaten the Heat. But 14, they might have. With D Wade's knees being shot to crap and Chris Bosh not being, that team not being the same. That team really relying a lot more on LeBron than it had in the previous 2 years. D Wade averaged like 13 points in the NBA Finals, shooting like 43%, 33 from 3.
The role players were just getting older.
The role players were already old, like
kept pretty much the same.
James Jones, Ray Allen, Birdman, like it was an old team. Relied heavily on LeBron and Bosh, and Wade just couldn't give it at that point because he just had so many miles on his body. He needed to rest. Similar to what we saw with the Warriors last year, and they didn't get done. And then what happens 2015? The team that they beat in the previous 2 years in the playoffs, the Warriors, came surging. And that was it. Boom, doors shut. They couldn't get past it. And they had chances to, the Clippers, they had chances to they lost to the Grizzlies. And they lost to other teams like that. You look at Toronto, right? Toronto, while LeBron was in the East, number 1 seed in the West and in the East a couple times. Multiple All-Stars on their team. Multiple All-NBA players. They just couldn't get past LeBron. LeBron leaves. They get Kawhi, they trade away DeMar DeRozan. And they might have even made the finals with DeMar DeRozan. You don't know, right? They trade away DeMar DeRozan. They get Kawhi Leonard. They win.
Green as well.
Danny, I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, that one.
I don't want to talk about him because he left his elbow in San Antonio as far as I'm concerned.
He needs to get rid of that tattoo, guys.
Bruv.
Hey.
But they win. And look, this year, they're not a bad team by any stretch. But they lost to the Celtics in the second round. Go from championship to out in the second round. Bruv, life in the NBA when you're a contender comes at you fast. It comes at you fast. There are no guarantees. Because you have Kawhi, 2015-16, was looking like an MVP candidate, right? He potentially could have been the 3rd player to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. 2017, that Spurs team was good. And he breaks his ankle. The Warriors look like they're ready to three-peat. And, KD hurts his calf and then he tears his Achilles and Klay tears his ACL.
Yes, this is what bugged me. How can a player like Paul George who's had so many horrific injuries like he has?
Bruv, you're icing your shoulder every 15 minutes and you're telling me it's not championship or bust.
Didn't he break his leg twice or something?
Bro,
like that, bro.
I don't know if he broke his leg twice or he broke his leg in 2 places.
He's had so many bad injuries.
Even your co-star, even your silent captain who's dealt with injuries like for the last 3-4 years. Honestly. For you to be like, it's not championship or bust, like, even just forget, for a second, just forget mental toughness. Are you not aware at all?
Fam. Just look at the context, bro. This is the first year in the past how many years that the Warriors have not been about.
Bro, look at the Sacramento Kings. Look at them, right? What was it? 2002. They played the Lakers and they went 7, and they probably could have won it in 6 if there wasn't for some referee shenanigans, right? After that, what happened?
Bro.
They made the playoffs for like 2-3 years after that, and they haven't made I think they have the longest playoff drought in NBA history currently.
They got Boogie and wasted so many of his years.
So many of his years. Look at the Suns.
Boy.
The Suns had realistically 2 seasons.
Steve Nash, they had
2 seasons where they were the best team in the league regular season, and then couldn't get done in the playoffs, and that was it. Door closed.
Like he almost made it back this
year. The Celtics with the big 3, they had what? 3 seasons where they were legit contenders. Because once LeBron joined the Heat, as far as the East was concerned, that was it, done, boom, door closed. But they had 2007, they won. 2008, KG got injured. 2008 they won. 2009, KG got injured. 2010 they lost in the finals to the Lakers. That was it. That was their 3-year window, and they won 1. Bro. All things considered, the age of the best players on your team, right? Then for you to say that, that had me tossing and turning for a little bit, bro.
Your average age on the Clippers is minimum 30.
Bro, elite, minimum. And it's like, to say it's not championship bust.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And there's so many teams, like you said, who will have many more chances in the future. But this Clippers team, especially like you mentioned last week, those 2 players are on 2-1s. Kawhi could easily pack his bags and say, yo, 1-0-0, 1-0-0-1.